Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's no answer to this. It's both. I would say it's more knowledge, though. Experiences pass. They pass. I was in like 12 years ago. I was in Thailand. I was experiencing a state of ecstasy so damn intense. All I could do was lay there and like say, that's all I could do. That's actually a definition of orgasm. People think orgasms when you're like having sex and then you lose your energy. Guys, girls too a little bit, but it seeps back in. It's a better deal. So people think that's an orgasm. Orgasm is when the life force is stirring up so strong it's moving everywhere inside you. Yeah, that's orgasm. So that was happening. And I remember when it ended a couple hours later. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I was like, damn, I'm glad that ended. You can't sustain in a state like that. You can't eat, you can't do anything. Sleep, you can't really talk. It's like work. It's work to even have a thought. I was toying with that. I was playing with that. I was like, emptiness was effortless, right? So then something played. I was like, okay, let's think, what are you gonna do tomorrow? Ow, I don't wanna think. It like hurt to think. So, wonderful experience, but it passes. Or at least they reduce in intensity. The dimmer switch can get turned up or it can get turned down. This is creation, though. We're here to experience that. That's the benefit of having an individual sense of self. If there's only God, there's no God. God, because it's like where's God? Like I'm God, everything's God. You have to. It has to differentiate itself into some individual sense of form. So then it allows that reflection, this fusion with its source, which then creates the experience of tasting the source. So, when I say knowledge, I'm not talking about the non-dual tape recorders who listen to other tape recorders and then just parrot stuff. Real knowledge is real seeing. You see how something works. You just see it. Can't really call it knowledge. It's more like seeing. It's like those who know that there's a source to their existence, that you just know it. Somebody said, well, can you prove it? No, how am I going to prove it? Or those that know when you leave this body that you're not the body. You're not going to die with the body. I really suggest those people that have trouble with that go to India and go to Varanasi and just watch these bodies get cremated 24/7. Some shift will take place and let you know, oh yeah. I remember I saw my dad at the when his body was at the funeral. I was like 12 and a half. I was like, I'm not going to go to another funeral. Like, okay, one's enough. Because it was so not real. It was so like clear. Like, oh, this wasn't the entity that I was referring to as my dad. That was gone. That life force was gone. This was like some just empty shell. It was just so clear. So that's what happens if you go to Varanasi and watch those bodies get cremated. I think you'll have a shift like that. Okay, what's the point? Those people that know that, you know that you're not this body, and you know that you're consciousness, and you know consciousness can't die, and then somebody tells you, like, prove that. You can't prove it. It's not knowledge. When I'm talking about real knowledge, it's not the kind of knowledge where it's not like this worldly knowledge, like I know how to build a house, and so I'm gonna write this instruction manual. You got to get wood, and then you got to go do something with it and make it into a house. You can write an instruction manual. There's no instruction manual for self-realization. This is realizations. You have these realizations. How do you get the realizations? Yeah. Grace. Grace will give you the realizations. Be patient with the evolutionary journey that you're on, and the realizations will come. This whole thing is make-believe. It's all, this is why Papa G just said, look, just keep quiet. That's what he's just like, just shh. Like life is running itself. The show's running itself. You don't have to think that you're doing something. You're gonna do stuff. Like that's already a given. You're gonna go do stuff. But you don't need to like be there thinking about like that you're doing stuff and trying to figure stuff out. Let life figure it out. And if life wants to have this sensation that it's figuring it out through you and you feel like you're trying to figure something out, okay, let some kind of sense of figuring something out be there. That's cool. But don't take it so serious like I really got to figure this out so I can get self-realized. Catch that. We don't have it in our power, our human mental power, ego power, to make ourselves get awakened. The sooner that everybody realizes that, the better. You just can't do it. You can't do it. You can go find all the techniques and be super disciplined about it, you know, and do it, repeat your mantra or do your japa 8 hours a day. You can repeat your mantra 100,000 times. That's not going to give you an awakening. And if it did, it's only because grace wanted to act through that way to wake itself up. It wasn't because you made a calculative decision and you were very disciplined about something that's what gave you the awakening. No. Grace is running the show. Everything, like literally everything is being run by the intelligence behind the scenes that we can't see. That's why you have to see Adjustment Bureau, because it shows that. I liked it. It's a good movie. I remember that story. I really like Lao Tzu. I mean, from what I have read and the Tao Te Ching, but I like the story about him and Confucius. Confucius was brilliant mind, also spiritual being, but very. This is the problem when one's intellect's too developed, gets in the way. Like these walking encyclopedias, aka geniuses, I've had a few of those in my life. Man, they have trouble. Their intellect just overrides everything. They don't even hardly know what intuition is. Their justification and rationalization is just so prominent. You can't really have a conversation with them about like, okay, logical mind, intuition. They can't. Everything's logic, you know. So Confucius was super smart, and he would have these debates with Lao Tzu. He was trying to tell Lao Tzu. He says, "Look, these people need some kind of doctrine to follow, some kind of scripture, some kind of rules or something." By the way, yeah, some people think Jesus wrote the commandments. No, people wrote the commandments. Jesus is just flowing. He's not even a Christian. People made that around him. Same with Buddha. He's not a Buddhist. These doctrines get created by the masses, by the people. That's cool because I guess some people need to be told not to kill people or don't cheat on your wife and all that stuff. That's okay. Yeah, if you need to know that that's not the best thing to do, then it's good that you can read it somewhere. So Confucius was trying to tell Lao Tzu about that. He's like, we need to create something, the people need direction, need guidance. And Lao Tzu's like, man, you can't help anybody. Leave it to nature, leave it to existence. It's gonna help everybody. Just leave it to nature, leave it to the law of evolution. Everybody's gonna be fine. How was everybody doing before you got here? I remember there was a guy, that's the problem when you have free satsangs. This happened to Muji. This is one of the benefits of charging. I've shared about that before. You can weed out the riffraff, I don't like riffraff. So Muji had an open satsang in India, maybe, I don't know, 8 years ago, something like that. And this guy was in the back, and He was trying to get, Muji finally calls on him. And he comes up to the podium, has a little kid with him. Muji already knew something was up. And so then this guy wrote this letter and then read it and pretended like it was from the little kid. It's like, we need help, and can you help us? Something like that. And Muji's like, all right, I'll give this a go. He already knows. He already knows it's a trap. And he says, look, there's many ways you can help people. It's not just, there's millions of ways, It's up to the consciousness. I'm paraphrasing totally. But it's up to the consciousness how it's going to direct you to maybe help somebody. But when you get all fanatical about something, and then on top of that, crash somebody's satsang to try to, instill your projection. I got bit by an ant. You try to instill your projection on everybody that, look, this is what you need to do. You got to help the children or the people. That's not right. This is your whole, and then the guy got a little, he was getting called out and didn't like it. He says, no, but I'm asking you, will you help him right now? Will you help this? He says, I'm not going to fall for that. He's not going to do it. He says, your whole attitude's wrong. You come in here, you write a sophisticated letter, you pretend like it's from the boy, and now you're trying to get your little agenda met. He says, no, go outside or start your own group, and then those people who feel in their heart to come to that, they'll come to that. I love that part. That was a good answer. You can't catch out somebody who's free. You can't. All the little mental, cleverness, it just will dissolve in front of somebody who's actually free and speaking authentically and spontaneously. So, true knowledge, true experience, it's a mixture of both. As we become more awake, our knowledge is going to become more wise, our perception is going to be more clear, and the experience of that is going to follow. We're going to be more peaceful. We're going to be just more content. You're going to be less of a consumer. You don't need things anymore, whatever they are. There's millions, just you name it. You don't need anything like that to give you a sense of well-being. You found the uncaused contentment inside yourself. That means it's not contingent upon any certain thing. That keeps increasing. Those experiences, maybe they last longer, maybe they get deeper. The knowledge you have, the clear seeing, perception of things gets more deeper. It's ongoing. Like Muji said, the mango gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and forever. It never stops. So enjoy the process. And if you can't enjoy it, that hold space for yourself that you can't enjoy it right now, but you'll enjoy it. And don't measure yourself, compare yourself to other people. That's just another trap. Just look at it. Somebody said this in the ashram when I was there, when I was 25. They were talking about enlightenment, and man, I don't know if I can get enlightenment, this life. And somebody's like, man, you have forever. Like, why are you worrying about it? Have that attitude. That's high level attitude. It's not a cynical attitude. You have to judge and see. Is that high level when you say that, or are you like just kind of pessimistic, or is it like you've realized, like, wait a minute, this is a game, and I'm not running it. Somebody else is. Some higher intelligence is running this game, and it's using this idea of me as a participant in the game. Like, this is out of my hands, man. So, yeah, that gives a sense of emptiness. That's it. That's good. All right, see you.